I had an incident in my school where, for my misbehavior, I was basically going to receive some sort of punishment. And that time I felt my mood going like haywire. My anxiety was at an all time high, and talking to my sister was helpful. And that's when the first thought occurred to me that, okay, I need help. My name is Bilal Ahmad Zubairi. I was born in this place called Gulbarga, North Karnataka. I lived in Hyderabad till my dad's death, and then after he passed, me and my mom we moved to Bangalore. So my childhood was pretty rough. My mom comes from a very conservative background, so she was a very authoritative parent, but she was never really around. When I was in Hyderabad, I didn't learn English. So when I moved to Bangalore, I had to learn English to, interact with people. I knew I needed therapy from a very young age. If not therapy, I knew I needed some sort of help growing up, but I just didn't know what kind of help it was. I had an incident in my school where, for my misbehavior, I was basically going to receive some sort of punishment. And that time I felt my mood going like haywire. My anxiety was at an all time high, and talking to my sister was helpful. And that's when the first thought occurred to me that, okay, I need help. I need someone to talk to. And after my bachelor's, I was in a particularly difficult stage in my life with my mother. Me and my mother were not getting along. I was a heavy smoker. And I used to do a lot of self-harm, unfortunately. Smoking is a form of self-harm in a way. And also I really became very codependent with my sister. I was like almost helpless without her. And also I was doing a job I really didn't like. I absolutely hated it. So I realized that I couldn't do this by myself anymore. There was this strong sense that yes, I can continue to, smoke my way through all my problems, but I knew this is not healthy. So that's when I started looking for therapy. But then I went for counseling first. It was okay, but it was not the kind of help I was looking for. But then I went to another therapist before coming here. That therapist and I did not gel because she had a very different view and she did not understand what I needed. So I kind of I googled therapists near me. I came across Meher's profile, and the reason why I kind of related to her was, first of all, she was around my age, and then she looked qualified, and I don't know, her profile felt friendly to me. So I was like, I'll just try this out. I was actually very apprehensive because I already had a bad experience with the previous therapist, and I forgot to mention this, but in my school I had a school counselor, and the school counselor was terrible. So I had very bad experiences. So I was more or less like, maybe this will go just as badly. That was and I was like really preparing myself to be disappointed. One thing that really motivated me to continue coming back was Meher did not try to solve my smoking. She did not promise me that you will quit smoking or something like that. It was more like, okay, this is something, we will work together and we'll figure that out. And that's what really like by the end of the session, I was like feeling a load of relief that, okay, I have found someone who's able to empathize with me and understand that I'm not looking to solve surface level problems. I'm looking for something deeper. One thing that I learned in therapy was you will have to forgive yourself a million times. It's not forgiving yourself once, it's not forgiving yourself twice. Literally, you will have to forgive yourself a million times. I think as human beings, we have a lot of, different voices in our head. I'm not talking about schizophrenia. I'm just saying in general, we have a lot of inner monologue. And one thing in therapy that I realized is that not all inner monologues are the same. There are different facets to it. So recognizing that, Meher helped me recognize these different voices. There is inner criticism, and then there is inner self-respect and love. So you need to understand that not everything you tell yourself is true. I stopped self-harm. I completely stopped. Like, self-harm is not just you sitting and harming yourself. It can also be you tear something that you love, or you throw something, all that is like stopped completely. And also I pretty much quit smoking. That was one of my big goals, and I have been able to accomplish them. And I like to see it as a goal, even though I kind of messed up in the first place. But and to some extent I have like also been able to like increase my self concept and self worth, have a better self concept, and have much better self esteem, where I am no longer constantly criticizing myself. Instead, I am being forgiving towards me. And also, to some extent, it helped me heal my relationship with my mom. Even though I am a psychology student, I was really hesitant to see a psychiatrist. I did not because I thought there was something wrong with it, but I was just apprehensive of taking medication. Because medication, especially in psychiatry, I think has a bad rep. One thing I distinctly remember is I kind of was telling Meher that I am really hesitant to take medication. So she assured me that you can stop at any time. My psychiatrist, what she does really well is, when she is prescribing every medication, she explains to me why she is prescribing that, what exactly it is, and what I can expect will happen after I take it, in the good, the bad, everything. So that gives me a lot more confidence, because I don't want to end up like drugged out of my mind. I don't want to. I like being sober. My psychiatrist was kind of like looking at me like a blank slate. She did not come with any preconceived notions. She heard me, like she would any client. And the way it works is that I report what happens to me when I take medication to my psychiatrist, and my psychiatrist relays that to my therapist. And my therapist, during talk therapy, whatever happens, I think she relays that back to my psychiatrist. They don't discuss things in detail, but just enough for them to coordinate well. When it comes to mental health, unless you're watching like Dear Zindagi, I don't know if I can give that, but don't watch Bollywood movies. Don't come with the like picture of Bollywood movies in your mind, because that is not how this works, especially psychiatry. I get why people are hesitant to take the first step, but the first step never hurt. You can always go back if it doesn't help. Just have courage, and it's easy for me to say, but and what I mean by have courage is, expect the best out of something and move forward. Hopefully you will start a really great journey. And also, I would say, when it comes to psychiatry, you are not crazy to go to a psychiatrist. There is not anything like, you don't need to be institutionalized or something like that. You are just going through something incredibly difficult, which not a lot of people who are not experts will be able to understand, but this is an expert who can understand. So go and express yourself as freely as you can, because when you start taking meds and when you start going to a psychiatrist, hopefully it'll be really great, because it will help you manage your condition. Yeah.